This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/iHeart. Greenlight.com/iHeart.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Hello, iHeart listener. We have a confession to make. Both iHeart and this commercial you're listening to right now would probably sound a heck of a lot better on the new Roku Pro Series TV. It's got side-firing speakers that fill your room with sound, Dolby Atmos audio that puts you right in the middle of the entertainment, and the ability to pair seamlessly with your home theater sound systems that already have surround sound and booming bass. If all that sounds too good to be true, it'll sound even better on the new Roku Pro Series. Your hearing isn't better, your TV is.
And all is right with the world. Wild win, however, the Wolves lose. Buxton with a milking-it game-saving catch was and the National Football League draft, by the way, this little thing called the NFL draft, just a day away. Matter of fact, 30 hours, 55 minutes and 34 seconds, 33 seconds, 32 seconds, 30 seconds, with so much to talk about, so many different issues and topics. Where do we start? Only the Wheel of Topic knows. I want to talk draft, especially third day. That's the best day in sports, you know. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round picks. Here we go.
Tennis golf game.
Well, that caught me a little off guard.
What did you shoot today?
Shot an 86.
Where'd we play?
Loggers Trail.
Where'd you hit it on one?
Are we counting the first two breakfast balls?
Which one?
Both breakfast balls and the shot I took all went right into the fairway, into 18 fairway.
Yeah. If you'll remember,
then what?
If you'll remember when you said you could play, and I told you where we were playing, and I mentioned it on the radio yesterday, I selected Loggers because you can hit it pretty much anywhere there off the tee and not be in trouble. And lo and behold,
especially since they burned all the long grass that used to be.
Lo and behold, even though you blocked it 45 degrees to the right, about 290 yards, you still had a look at the fairway. Made par on the 10th hole. You were simply brilliant.
Incredible.
You've got a lot. Here's the thing. I shot 82. It's all I can do to shoot 82. Great car song. Great song. For somebody who hasn't played since August, I wish I had your game. I mean, you had the driver was leaky a few holes.
Yeah,
especially
very leaky.
Well, especially on 5, you ended up having to take a double there because we never saw where the ball went.
Don't know where it went.
Well, we think you popped it straight up in the air, but it never came down. It might still be circling Saturn at this point.
It might have been on was it Blue Origin flight or whatever?
It might have been on Blue Origin.
Yeah, what's the name of it?
It might have been on Blue Origin because you popped the street. You just said, "Where did it go?" And we all went, I don't know. I didn't see it. And your putter was, wasn't great, but I don't think it was awful. There was a few poor putts. But I
didn't make a putt.
No, you didn't make a putt. You hit the ball. I mean,
my irons are pretty dialed in.
They were dialed in.
Yeah.
I mean, you hit a lot of really good shots. I think I'm declaring you ready for Bandon Dunes. I don't know if Bandon Dunes is ready for you, but I thought having, especially when your first 3 tee shots, I thought, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
We're going to have to call the sports babe and see if we can go an extra 2 hours before we get done with that round. But no, you turned it around. The drive you hit on 11 was spectacular. Big high draw. Then you knocked it in close. And that's where you did make a putt, like you say.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard hole. Because, especially playing blue tees. See, that's the first time I went pure blues.
Why did you go blue?
Well, because you were, and I'm not going to be, okay, Grandpa, why don't you go up there and bunt one out there? So
I can play Wade. That's fine.
No, and, I will tell you, you saw that. I mean, I can play blue tees. But the short game wasn't very good. On the 4 holes that are hard for me to play from blue tees, I played 4 over. 1 par, 2 bogeys, and a double. And the double on 8s because I'm just trying to hit it too hard, and I don't stay behind the ball. If I'm going to really go after it like that, I got to stay back. But sometimes when you want to hit it hard, you shorten the swing.
Yeah.
You lurch into it. And I was up on one of those mounds, and I just had no shot. All I could do was bump it out. But I can play back there for the short games because it was fun. I needed to push myself a little bit from the blues. But
weather was beautiful.
Oh,
perfect day.
Could you get used to playing golf every morning before work?
Oh, I sure could.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? You like that? So do you think you could convince your wife that you have to play every day? That's not going to work.
Not going to work, no.
It's not going to work. But anyway, it was a good time. I didn't think I could see a better pass in a hockey game than the one we saw game 1 when Kaprizov threw that was rink wide, basically, from one side of the boards to what do they call that circle?
It's cross ice, half wall.
The half wall. And he throws it over there to Boldy, right? Tape to tape, is that what we call it?
Sure.
From the tape of the stick to the tip. I saw the one yesterday, and I have to admit, I was clicking back and forth between both games. The beauty of the Wild game is it was so well in hand, I didn't have to stay up until 1:30 in the morning to watch it. I knew it was over. I went to bed at midnight. You knew it was over.
The beauty of the Wolves game was so well in hand the other way that I could just turn on the Wild and not worry about clicking back.
Exactly. The Wild made they pushed a couple of twice, I think, late. They cut it to 9, and it really looked like they were starting to gain some momentum. But the referees did us in. I'm sure I don't know. I didn't look at any social posts. I didn't see any of the comment boards on the gamers. I didn't listen to the Paul Allen Project because we were both playing golf, but I'm sure there were people that say if it wasn't for the referees, we would have won that game. 'Cause that's what. And again, in all fairness, you'll probably hear. Let's say the Lakers lose Friday night at Bullseye, and my guess is their fans will say they got jobbed by the officials. But that's just what basketball is. Basketball, more than any other sport, is when you lose. I mean, the players themselves were saying, we don't use that as I saw the quotes from several Wolves players. It was the referees that did them in. And that's what they always say. And I guess that's what you're going to get. And you can question calls all day and all night. But like Conley did say, you just got to you got to deal with it and you got to overcome it. Mm-hmm. And they weren't able to do it. But that pass from Kaprizov, that saucer pass, I mean,
pretty darn good.
And again, I'm not a big idolizer and pedestalizer unless it's Jimmy Butler or my golf game, right? But that pass is, and I know they've been doing it forever. They play hockey. I'm not acting like it was Moses parting the Red Sea. It's not that big of a miracle. But still, to throw that saucer pass perfectly, and the Wild just dominated that game. It was much like Wolves-Lakers was just almost a totally opposite. This time, the Lakers came out. They punched the Wolves in the mouth, and the Wolves weren't able to respond. This time, the Wild came out, and they took it to the Golden Knights and never looked at. Were they up 4-0 at one point?
Yeah, early in the second.
It was early in the second. They were up 4-0. Then I think it got to be 4-2, and then we scored it. What, empty netter? Was it a
Kaprizov, basically a 200-foot empty netter turnaround.
Yeah. And so both series tied at a game apiece. Just done in the opposite. Wild go 0-1 and then make it 1-1. The Wolves go 1-0, and now it's 1-1. We'll talk about those, plus the Twins and other topics to get to as well. But it's time now for bonus bucks.
Yes, the Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword GRAND at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is GRAND. Enter now at KFAN.com.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/iHeart.
What are you looking for in a new smart TV? 4K picture quality? High quality and immersive sound? A sleek design? All of those are givens, but only the new Roku Pro Series has all of those and the Roku streaming experience, an award-winning OS. Get fast, easy access to all your apps like iHeart, where you can stream all your favorite music, radio, and podcasts all day, and regular all-inclusive trips to Roku City. The new Roku Pro Series, a smart TV built by the streaming pros.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Come on, why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com. Lenovo. Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
Fan.
Show us your purple preset for a chance to win Vikings draft party tickets. Set KFAN as a preset on the iHeartRadio app. Screenshot it and post with hashtag KFAN purple preset to your social media. And make sure to follow and tag KFAN. Winners will be DM'd daily. Get the full rules at KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
Couple 13-14 past here on the Common Man program. I'm Common, he's 10 to B. Before we dive into peek at the purple, you know, there are several ways to contact us here at the Fan, including our phone number, 1-800-320-5326. As I've said before, that line's been disconnected. Don't bother unless it's for a giveaway. Next up would be our email address, which we don't hardly use anymore. It's gone the way of the dodo bird. It's gone the way of the Pony Express. Smoke signals or message in a bottle or carrier pigeon. But it is booth at KFAN.com. We got the talk back. That's cool. If you have the iHeartRadio radio app, search for stations, download the Fan. Put us on your, what do we call it? On your
preset.
Preset.
KFAN should be a preset on there.
Yeah, but when you do find the iHeartRadio app and you find the Fan, you'll see the microphone icon in the corner. Tap it 30 seconds or less to deliver some message. Then there's the Brad ever popular Holla Hotline, the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line at 64686. This one says, how dumb. You could talk Wolves, Wild, Twins, or NFL draft. You talk about golf the first 10 minutes. You just lost half of your audience. Well, I texted back, that means we lost 3 people. Though I just did receive the first quarter report card. If I did lose half of our people, that means we still have 10,000 listening, and that still means we're number 1 in our time slot. We've never had better numbers than this in January, February, March. Never, ever, nobody. These are unheard of numbers. So leave the radio to the professionals. We know what to discuss. People can't wait for Wheel of Topic.
Now what do you think? What do you think of that?
We've been doing this at a high level, long time, okay? And we know what the audience wants. They want more of Common Man's golf game. That's what they want.
Well, plus I'm confused because we've had other emailers before say, that story's like a day old.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the Wolves-Wild game was yesterday. Yesterday.
That's correct.
It's not even new news anymore.
And the draft hasn't even happened yet, so why would we talk about that? This golf round.
Today's biggest sports story is our golf round.
That is correct. Thank you very much, Tina. Thanks for siding with me on that. Time now for Peek at the Purple, brought to you by Affordable Electric. They're local, they're family-owned, they're highly qualified. They provide everything from whole-house electrical safety inspections to 24-hour emergency electrical repairs, lighting, outlet appliance work, rewiring for any room on your property. And Affordable Electric is your old home specialist. If you need electrical work, I highly recommend them. I've had Nick out to my house. We're about to embark on a couple of projects at my place. I need to replace my laundry room light. It's flickering bad. The plastic cover on it, that's been gone for years. I was trying to take it down one time to change one of those fluorescent bulbs, and the plastic cover broke. I have no plastic cover. I look like a laundromat somewhere down in Arkansas. It's just not good. So he's going to fix that for us and many other things. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. They are shockingly affordable. Diana Rossini, who's really made a name for herself. She's kind of she's a NFL insider. Don't they? What are they? Scoop City? Isn't that the name?
Yes.
I think she's got a podcast or something called Scoop City. Here's what she says. The Steelers, Browns, and possibly Vikings could be involved in a trade involving Kirk Cousins, according to sources. Minnesota is looked at as the least likely scenario, given their preference to favor J.J. McCarthy, and Cousins would need to sign off on any deal he's involved in. He likes it here. He has a home here unless he sold it. His kids loved it here. I don't know if that's necessarily the least likely scenario. Now, if he does want to start, and I'm assuming he probably does.
In terms of him playing,
he would probably
it's not the best spot.
He would probably have a better shot starting with the Browns and the Steelers, but I don't know. Stranger things have happened. But
they're still sniffing around.
Yeah,
so.
And we talked about it. I think we talked about it yesterday or earlier in the week. We talked about that because this isn't the first time this has come up. So I don't know if this really is Scoop City. It's been talked about elsewhere that there could be interest by the Vikings and maybe mutual interest from Kirk Cousins. Because I think, wasn't it? Didn't you bring it up that we've had like the Rodgers said he'd play for $10 million. Cousins will play for everybody will play for $10 million if you give it to him. And can you blame him? I mean, think about this. I know $10 million ain't going to get you to the grave, foo. And I know when you're used to making really big money. Like what was Cousins' last contract? He's made like close to $300 million in his career, right? So $10 million that's walking around money. But still, if you looked at him and said, look, it's sort of like when Wild Bill Bauer, the late Wild Bill Bauer, when he was still supplementing his comedy career earnings because he wasn't a full-time comic yet, before he was turned into a touring comic, he would supplement his income by selling cars at Coon Rapids Chrysler Plymouth. 80-year-old guy comes in and he goes, look, let's face facts. This is the last car you're ever going to own or you're ever going to buy, so you may as well buy it loaded. And the guy said, you're right, and he did. And so Billy sold him a really expensive car. So you look at Kirk Cousins and say, look, your best days are behind you. So you can either just, play bingo and take a nap every day, or you know what you could do? You could come in here and just put the visor on, be in the quarterback room and hang on, and maybe if our quarterback struggles, if McCarthy struggles, well, guess what? You're back in the starting lineup. Or, guess what? If he gets hurt, you're in too, and you're going to make $10 million large. And he goes, that's not a bad way to spend the winter.
Well, now with Kirk, he's under contract with Atlanta.
Yeah.
So he's making what's owed to him anyways. The $10 million we're talking about that's how much the Vikings would have to take off of a percentage, right?
So
the Vikings aren't going to acquire him and pay the entire contract.
So there you go.
It's Atlanta, yeah. So the more that's offered to Atlanta in terms of a team taking on that contract, the less you'd have to give up to get him.
Yeah. Here's the problem. This would be the question, though, and I've not seen it, and Diana Rossini is very good at what she does, but I don't see anything about what's the employment market like in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and here in Minneapolis. I mean, what if Kirk's wife wants to get a job? Right? I mean, what if she wants to work? Can she find work in any? So which city has a better employment opportunity for her? I think that has a lot to do with the decision that Kirk would make. So again, wheel of free agent quarterback or trading quarterbacks or backup quarterbacks or starting quarterbacks, whatever you want to call it, continues to spin like Wheel of Topic, and we'll keep our eye on that. We'll know a lot.
I have a hard time understanding football contracts, so I'm just at spotrac.com looking at Kirk Cousins' deal.
Okay.
If I'm reading this correctly, if he was just cut by the Falcons, $75 million in dead cap. His cap hit is $40 million this year. Now, they do have an out in 2026 that would have a $45 million dead cap. Otherwise, he'd be 57.5 against the cap for the next 2 seasons in Atlanta.
Can you give me an Where did that PA did that for? What was that? The hundreds of pounds, or was that the?
That was
Brady's
the 2-0 lead.
Oh, 2-0 lead. So there you go. Hey, by the way, that was Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. If you, regardless of your electrical needs, they'll handle it for you. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable Electric is, shockingly affordable. A little Disneyland on the other side of the brain. We're talking about the Wizard of the Wild.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have supervision, enhanced hearing, extraordinary reflexes, to be, dare we say, superhuman? Well, Roku's new Pro Series TV can't do any of that for you. But with a 4K screen, side-firing speakers, and a blazing fast refresh rate, it'll sure feel like it. Elevate your entertainment using all your favorite apps like iHeart and play all your music, radio, and podcasts with the new Roku Pro Series. Your senses aren't better. Your TV is.
In the heat of battle, your squad relies on you. Don't let them down. Unlock elite gaming tech at Lenovo.com. Dominate every match with next-level speed, seamless streaming, and performance that won't quit, so you can push your gameplay beyond performance with Intel Core Ultra processors. For the next era of gaming, upgrade to smooth, high-quality streaming with Intel Wi-Fi 6E and maximize game performance with enhanced overclocking. Win the tech search. Power up at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Oh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
It's a Wolves Talk Back Wednesday on KFAN. We got your shot to win Timberwolves versus Lakers Game 3 tickets. Send us your talk back on the iHeartRadio app, telling us in 30 seconds or less how you think the Timberwolves beat the Lakers in the series. Stay tuned all day today to hear if you were selected as a winner.
Keep an eye on Caleb Johnson out of, I don't know where he plays.
Iowa.
He's out with the
running back Iowa.
Yeah, keep an eye out for him. He's going to be...
Gopher fans know him because he tore us apart this year.
He did?
Yeah.
Will he be a part of Purple Prey?
He will not.
Okay.
But I like him a lot.
You like him?
I do like him a lot. I think he's a top 4-ish running back. He might not have some of the pass-catching chops that some of the others, but he's going to be an NFL running. He'll be a starting running back in the NFL.
Swivel hips, 3-cone drill.
I couldn't tell you all that.
coming up at 1 o'clock, we've got 534, 115. Will it be the final edition of Purple Prey, do you think? Or are you going to do one tomorrow?
If we want to recap what the ideal draft all the way through would be, I could maybe come up with something like that.
If you want to do that, it's up to you. I'll leave that up to you.
But today's the last specific player.
I don't want to stress you out. I don't want to create more work for you than you already have. But if you want to do that, and then at 1:30...
Can we just skip it in golf in the morning?
If you'd like to. I'm playing. Trust me. And then at 1:30, the return of Rock Talk. Brian Oak will join us in studio, so we're looking forward to that at 1:30. And I think the topic will be Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The nominees are out there, and we're going to find out who they are, I think, right, on Saturday. Is that what it is? They actually name who they are? I think it is. I think that's when the unveiling is. So we'll talk about...
The nominees or the inductees?
Inductees, I'm sorry.
Inductees,
yes,
okay.
Inductees. I think the inductees will be announced this weekend, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We'll let the maestro of music. We have maestro of the mornings in Corey Cove, the maestro of music. Brian Oak will let us know the who, what, why, where, and then all sorts of text messages coming in on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. This one says, Common, 3 top sports stories today. Wolves got punched in the gut. Wild punched someone in the gut, but most importantly, Common Man hit it right up the gut. So he's right. Here's another text message. Common's golf game is fine with most. I'd rather hear about Common's golf, squirt bee hockey, or the weather instead of the NFL or the NBA. So again, here's one. That's right, because I've been listening for over 20 years. Blow your own horn, Common. Blow your own horn. Common, sorry I missed the start of your show. Weren't you and tennis supposed to golf today? Could you do a brief rundown of your rounds? See? Here's another one. Wheel of Topics sucks. Hate listening to dumb Cole talking about himself. And then we have to listen to the nitwit eat on the air. It's rude and unprofessional. He's a clown. Then why are you continuing to listen? And guess what? You are now going to be, and this is your own fault, unless you want to call in or text back and apologize, I'm blocking you and you're out. No, really. If you're going to start calling me, if you're going to be that vicious and snarling and backbiting, we'll just block you. It's really simple to do. I can do it anyway. And people dread getting blocked. I sort of enjoy doing it now. I've never blocked anybody on Twitter, and I've only occasionally blocked people on the text line, and that's usually if they use foul language. Or if they say something like, your grandma wears army boots. Then, but otherwise, I don't really care what you say. But if you hate it that much, then we'll just part ways completely. You don't have to listen, and we don't have to hear from you on text message. And plus, you wouldn't want to text anymore, would you? Because you're not. Why would he still be listening?
I don't know. If I don't like something on the radio or the television, I don't email them or text them. I discuss with them. I just change the channel. Please don't, though. Just keep being mad and keep it on the fan.
As you are hyping up all that you could talk about, but what was going to leave it up to Wheel of Topic, I got a client phone call and part of me died inside. Of course, to ensure I can feed the family, I took the call, but he is wrong. Wheel of Topic is the best. So he knew Wheel of Topic was coming, Tennessee. And even though he knew Wheel of Topic was coming, he had to take that phone call, and he dreaded taking the phone call because he missed Wheel of Topic. Most listeners in your time slot, and you still can't crack the top 10 with Barrett Sports Media. Yeah, you're right. I don't understand that. I mean, we are in the top 20, and we're not in the teens. We're tweeners. I think we were 12 last time. That's pretty good to get in that day and year in and year out. Been a constant member of the Talker Magazine Heavy 100. And then probably for me, the one, and I did this back-to-back years. Radio Inc. did their top 30 talk show hosts local. So in other words, they took out your Jim Rome in the Jungle, and the Colin Cowards and all that. Just if you're locally based, and I was rated in the top 30. And there are hundreds of talk show hosts across the country. I got a plaque for it. And Tana had a lot to do with it. I think people think that, because, I like to verbally slap myself. He can slap him. He can blow his own horn. Go ahead. Talk about how great a job you do. You have the floor. Go ahead. It's fun.
I think I'm the sole reason the show is as successful as it is. It's fun.
Isn't it fun? Then talk about how good you are at your job. And they say, and Tennessee is so good. Talk in the third person.
Tennessee is so unbelievable. You should be working in New York or Los Angeles. I mean, this should be a nationally syndicated radio show.
Did you get goosebumps doing that? Somebody sent me. I checked my email. I had to email Miles to tell him I'm out on Friday. So if there were any live ads that need to be covered, let me know what they are, and I'll cut some spots for you. And I saw another email, and the person said, "Oh, talking about yourself in the third person. Only really egotistical people do that." And I had to text him back. I emailed him back. I said, "Look, I'm a gadfly, and if you look up the definition of gadfly, it's someone who is persistently annoying. That's me." And so I know that there are many people that are annoyed by people that refer to themselves in the third person. So that's why I do it. It is the height of pomposity, and that's why I like to do it. That's why Common likes to talk about himself in the third person. It's just fun. Most people get the bit. A lot of them got the bit this past quarter, too. Plenty of them. Enough about me. Well, really, there's never enough about me, but I do want to talk about something else, Tennessee. Twins, we talked about this. The Twins have not had a very good start to the season. I think the Twins are like 0-18 against everybody else in the league, and they're like 7-1 against the White Sox. It's a bit of an exaggeration. But the Twins have struggled, particularly at the plate with runners in scoring position. I think Jax pitched last night, and he did better. I just watched part of that game because I was taking care. They ended up winning the game 4-2. And the White Sox are, there ain't no cure for the summertime blues. The cure for losing game after game after game is to have the Chicago White Sox on your schedule. Twins win 4-2. Did you see the catch by Byron Buxton to end the game?
Yes, I did.
Now,
it's about the only part of the game I saw.
Now, let me ask you a question. I don't know how closely you watched it, but that is the little Danny Cole 7th grade baseball tryouts at Coon Rapids Junior High, where I was out in the outfield and a fly ball came out and I made a diving catch. And Coach Boland, Boland, I can still remember his name. He goes, who made that catch out there? Because he doesn't know all the names. You're in tryouts, right? So Danny Cole. And he was very impressed. So another fly ball came out. And what did I do, Tennessee? I got a slow jump on it and then made a diving catch when I didn't need to make a diving catch. And I think I was my own worst enemy because I think then Coach Boland thought, well, that first diving catch, he didn't really make a diving catch there either. He just turned what would have been maybe, a shoestring catch or a running catch at the knees. You make that delay so you can make the diving catch. Tell me Byron Buxton do that in that play. He did not need to dive to make that catch. Did you see it?
Well, so I watched it last night, and I just saw it on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Because I was watching Wolves, getting ready to watch Wild, and on my Twitter feed, you have like 10 different people going, unbelievable catch by Buxton, one of the greatest catches I've ever seen. Like they were treating it like.
Yep. So
then I went back and watched it, and I thought, really good catch, and I think the circumstances behind the catch are probably what really, right? The fact that you had a 2-run lead, they have runners on second and third in the 9th inning with 2 outs. So the fact that if you don't catch it, it's a tie game.
Correct.
You catch it, you win the game. I think that's what's putting over the top, but I agree with you where
he didn't need
I don't know if he needed to dive there. He could have just ran under it. It would have been a hard catch.
Yeah, he could have run under that. And I actually admire him for it because I've done the same thing myself. That's where you want to be. I think back in the day, do they still call them web gems?
Yes.
He wanted to be on web gems. He wanted to be on top 10 plays of the day. That wasn't that difficult of a catch. And if you really think it was, if you want to idolize and pedestalize, because, the hometown 9 desperately needed a win. I mean, this was getting to be ridiculous, getting swept by a Braves team that I think when they squared off this weekend on the first game of the 3-game set this past Friday, I think the Braves actually had, believe it or not, it's hard to believe, had a worse record than the Twins did. And then they got swept by 3, and it's just been a mess for them, right? They've had a lot of trouble. So that was a much-needed win, and as you say, it was very dramatic. They have runners on second and third. Those are that's a tying run at second base. And so you want it to be even more exciting than it really is. And so, I mean, there's no question he didn't need to dive for that. I admire it.
Even in it was kind of like a half dive.
Yeah.
He wasn't fully extending his arm when he caught it.
No.
Like he could have ran under it with the full extension.
Sure he could have. Well, you know that, and everybody in the locker room knows it. And they probably chided him about it. They probably went, "Come on, Buck." And if for the fan that doesn't, I played the game, I guess. I played the outfield. That was the position I played. As a matter of fact, it got to the point where I would play right field foul territory. That's where they'd place me. But I've played the outfield, so I know how that works. And that's, and look, he's a hell of a fielder. We know he's won how many Gold Gloves? Hey, guys, he saves runs. He's like, it's like having... It's like sometimes when he's in the outfield, you feel like it is slow pitch softball. They have 4 guys in the outfield. That's what it feels like sometimes when you watch, right? But that was not a catch where he needed to do that.
He's actually only won 1 Gold Glove.
1 Gold Glove?
Well, a lot of that is if you're not playing full time, playing all year round,
you're not going to get voted for it, right?
Sometimes the Gold Glove isn't just given the best defensive player. Like there's going to be an offensive, as weird as it sounds.
Yeah, that is correct. So. But nice grab, and Twins win. And as we say, that was a much-needed win for the hometown nine. And somebody else sent... here's one. Can Wheel of Topics go 2 segments? See, there are people that understand the importance of Wheel of Topics. But here's another one, Teneby, from a listener, a regular listener and a regular text messenger. When I talked about the saucer pass from Kaprizov to Boldy, he says the acceptance of the pass was even better. Anyone can wing it, but to catch and handle on the tape, way harder. There is something to be said.
Let's not go that far.
No, but there is something to be said for being able to catch that.
It's challenging to catch it. Let's not act like it's harder than the past. No. That pass is unreal.
No, but I'm just saying he's just pointing out that it is a nice play. He it may not be different. It might not be as difficult, but it's still pretty good because if you don't catch it, then it's like...
Especially on your backhand.
Yes. So that was, it was because it was a great pass and it was a great catch. Same thing when
actually just the finish, right? Like if he doesn't score there, then we're not talking about the pass as much, right?
Exactly. And
he kind of had a guy all over him too that he had to pick up some speed.
Well, and that's the equivalent to that to me would be, and I might get nominated for a preposterous statement here, but remember was it the Buffalo game where Cousins threw it to JJ, and it was such a great catch that the Hall of Fame actually said, "We need the gloves you wore that game. We got in your cleats. We have to have them." Same thing. The catch was otherworldly, but the throw was also right in the spot where if that throw was off at all, it's an incomplete pass. It was a perfectly thrown ball. And guess what? There was a defender draped all over him. So it was a great catch, a great throw. It was wonderful. It was, and so was that play last night. We talked extensively about the Wild and the Wolves yesterday, and one of your takeaways was, look, we need something from that second, third, or fourth line. We can't just keep getting something from the first line. And to start the game, it was the first line. They give us our
Boldy got the first one
or the first one.
Yep.
But then we did get other contributions from other lines. Correct?
So Hartman got elevated up and well deserved because Hartman was on that fourth line in game 1 and he played well. It was actually out on both of the goals that Boldy and Kaprizov were a part of in game 1. So he got elevated and he was great again last night for a guy who is a little bit polarizing in this town with Wild fans, and fans are kind of starting to get a little bit sick of his antics, and he got suspended this season. He has been great so far through 2 games, and he was a big reason why he made the pass to Foligno to score that goal. Zuccarello got in the mix on a pass from Johansson, another bad turn. As good as the Wild were last night, Vegas was uncharacteristically just sloppy with the puck in their own zone. So I don't imagine that's going to happen moving forward. I would be happy if it would, but they took advantage of that. And then Kaprizov scored on the 2-on-1 early pass from Boldy. And then he squeezed it through. And then, Kaprizov got the empty netter. But yeah.
Do you have an explanation as to why the Golden Knights were sloppy last night? Or is it just that's like in any sport? Sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't.
Yeah. There's no explanation for it. I mean, it came from their defenseman who, in game one, didn't really give the Wild anything. Now, the Wild did a good job pressuring last night. They were all over him on the forecheck. I don't know if they changed anything from a structure standpoint on the forecheck. But yeah, Vegas was turning the puck over like crazy, and the Wild were taking advantage.
The fuse box will be lit up on Friday. Is it Friday?
We are going to have to find a new nickname for that eventually, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the fuse box forever anymore.
Well, I thought XL did agree to the extension.
I think they agreed to be a partner still, but they're going to have a new naming rights. So
they are. Okay.
They're paying the Wild in other fashion.
Well, see, then I misread the story. I just glanced at the headline because to me it's not that important of a story. But I thought the original story was it's up for grabs, but then I thought I saw the X decided to renew, but you're saying not.
Yeah.
Huh.
So if they want to call it KFAN Stadium in the meantime?
I don't think we got that kind of money. I don't think we're doing any. Oh, you just mean in the meantime, in the interim. Yeah. We're not new. I don't think we're going to pony up that kind of money. So, yeah, I mean, again, nothing's ever a must win unless you're on elimination game, right? But I think they lose that. It's, I think interest wanes considerably, but now you're 1-1 and you get.
Well, now, things do change so quickly in a series. And you look at through 2 games now and you go, our top guys are going. I mean, Matt Boldy's been terrific. He has 3 goals. Kaprizov scored twice last night with the empty netter. So you have 5 goals from that top line while also shutting down Vegas's top line. Jack Eichel, their best player, doesn't have a point in the series. Mark Stone, who's been kind of a long-time Wild killer, doesn't have a point in this series. So they've got depth, and they're able to get scoring from kind of anywhere. But if you're going top guys versus top guys, the Wild are clearly winning that through 2 games. So there's still some things they need to clean up a little bit. Their breakout early on was not very good last night. It seems the defensive pairing of Bogosian and Bouillon has not been good here through 2 games. They've given up a lot of goals. So they are not playing perfect. Obviously, it's just 1-1, but there are some very encouraging things after last night if you're a Wild fan.
I wouldn't trade one day a Wheel of Topics for 2 Patrick Mahomes. So there you go. So the guy that wanted to complain and say, well, you've lost half your listeners and it's stupid, I think the listenership has spoken and you're in the vast minority. Meanwhile, the Wolves and Lakers was all, I wouldn't say it was an exact opposite because if you remember that first 5-8 minutes of game 1, the Lakers were out to an 8-point lead. It looked like the Wolves were just standing around and were waiting to take their spanking. Yet we saw what happened late first quarter, early second, whatever it was. The Wolves went on that run and they just destroyed the Lakers. Last night, Lakers got out to a quick start. I think the Wolves had 15 points in the first quarter. It was like 35-15 or something. Other than very early in the game, I don't even know if did the Wolves ever lead? If they did, it was when the game was still in single digits. And the lead got to ballooned to as much as 22 a couple of times. If you're a Lakers fan, you may have gotten a bit nervous. There was that one stretch where I think they went 0 for 7. And the Wild, a couple of different times, cut it to 11, cut it to 9 twice, I think. But the Lakers were able to prevail. And really, it was sort of what happened to the Wild or the Wolves. What happened to the Lakers is the Lakers seemed to be unprepared for the physical nature of the game and the intensity of it, just like it seemed like the Lakers weren't prepared for it in game number 1. I know there was some complaining about officiating. Some of the players were, I think I've explained my take on it. I know that there are calls that go both ways. And, it's pretty hard to call a game even. I don't think the refs are intentionally trying to call the game in favor of any other team. I know there are people that believe in those conspiracy theories, and maybe they're true, and I'm just naive and don't understand them. Are there players that get preferential treatment? I guess. I would think that is wrong, and if that's what was happening last night, I didn't really see any of that. Because there were a couple of calls the Wolves got. Are those the makeup calls? I don't know. There was a couple of calls that the Wolves got that I certainly could have questioned as well. But I think the biggest thing that happened, and we talked about this, and I credited JG, the tasteless box of mashed potatoes. I think he said to me during the passing of the torch, we talked about the game a little bit after game one, and he said, when we don't get anything out of Nas and who else was big in the
DiVincenzo?
No, in the first game.
Randall?
No. The guys that come off the bench. Not DiVincenzo, not Nikhil Walker-Alexander. Who's the other guy?
I would have was going to be the next one I was going to say.
Maybe it was. No.
We saw a little Terrence Shannon last night.
No, it wasn't Terrence Shannon. Why is my mind so bad?
I thought Nas, DiVincenzo, and Na were the three main guys.
Maybe it is Na.
I guess the bench.
Maybe it is Na then. If we don't get anything out of those guys, when we do, we win. When we don't, it's dicey. And again, the bench did not provide much scoring at all. I mean, I don't think there was one player that came off the bench that scored in double digits in the day before. We had two guys carry the game before. So it seems like that is sort of, because both carrying the scoring load for the most part was Randall and Ant. And so when you don't get that bench help with the scoring, the Wolves are going to struggle. So, and they're also Fridays.
Well, and credit to Lakers, they ramped up the defensive intensity.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And Luka sometimes gives up. He's a little bit better, I think, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the basketball community can correct me here. I know he gets the rap as he doesn't play defense at all, and he's probably not. I saw him give up a few times, but I think sometimes they just give up because they go, I'm not going to get a foul here. I'm not going to reach in when a guy's got me beat and then try to stop him like it's the last basket of the game. But he also did some nice things defensively, I thought, last night as well. But now both series are evened at a game apiece. I was thinking of McDaniel. That's who I was thinking of. It's going to be McDaniel. He's the one. McDaniel is the guy that gives them he gets them a lot of points, but he did not. But anyways, let's do this. Let's pause. When we come back, we'll do a little 5-3-4 on KFAN.
Could the Vikings make a surprise pick in the first round tomorrow night?
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have supervision, enhanced hearing, extraordinary reflexes, to be, dare we say, superhuman? Well, Roku's new Pro Series TV can't do any of that for you. But with a 4K screen, side-firing speakers, and a blazing fast refresh rate, it'll sure feel like it. Elevate your entertainment using all your favorite apps like iHeart and play all your music, radio, and podcasts with the new Roku Pro Series. Your senses aren't better. Your TV is.
Some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com, ODOO.com.
Come on. Why is this taking so long? This thing is ancient.
Still using yesterday's tech? Upgrade to the ThinkPad X1 Carbon. Ultra-light, ultra-powerful, and built for serious productivity with Intel Core Ultra processors, blazing speed, and AI-powered performance that keeps up with your business, not the other way around.
Whoa, this thing moves.
Stop hitting snooze on new tech. Win the tech search at Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Unlock AI experiences with the ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, so you can work, create, and boost productivity all on one device.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.